Hello guys, welcome to your YouTube channel PNS Guide. I hope you all are happy and healthy. In this video I am going to explain you about the basic settings of Pubg new state. After watching this video you will be able to choose your best settings according to your play style. It will further help you to understand the meaning, function, advantages and disadvantages of different settings. So let's jump right into the basic settings. First setting is account ID, which you can copy and give it to your friends to enable them to send friend request to you. Then the next option, build version, it shows the version of your Pubg new state. In graphics settings the first option is performance, where you have to keep max frame rate for smooth and lag-free gameplay. Then for graphic quality you have to choose the light option or medium if you possess high-end device. Anti-aliasing don't play a major role in improving gameplay, but it may increase your battery consumption, so keep it off. Then choose your brightness according to your preference. For screen filter choose either standard or contrast, other two options are just garbage. For graphics OP choose Vulkan for better performance, but if you are facing movement choke or touch issue or screen issue, then choose the OpenGL option. In gameplay setting you have to enable both sound tracker and sound tracker with icon. See. In this clip the circled part shows the sound tracker in that the small bullet represents the sound tracker with icon. Here the character is not hit by the bullet, rather it is the tracker of sound. Then comes the 3D HUD settings. The circled portion in this video represents 3D HUD where you can easily see your bullet count. I love this feature, so I keep it enabled, but if you want to remove it, you can remove it easily by disabling it. For blocked loss warnings you have to keep it enabled. As you can see in this clip, within the circled portion a red circle appear whenever your gun is blocked by an object. This red circle is the blocked loss warning. If you disable it, that red mark will not appear again. Next option is heal widget instant use. If you disable it, then as you can see in this video, whenever you drag and choose a consumable it will be just in the circled portion for instant use. But if you enable the instant heal widget, then whenever you drag and choose any item you will automatically consume it. As this is the beginning phase of the game you should disable it, but later you can enable it for fast gameplay. Next comes the auto follow, which we all know. We can enable it if we want our character to follow other team automatically before jumping. Then we have scope quick slot. If we disable it, we will not get any extra button for changing scope of any gun. We have to do it by manually going through the bag. But if we enable it, we can easily change our scope without going to the bag, as we got an extra button as shown in the circled part. Next, for Fpp Switch setting, always enable it to get better view at the time of drop shot or other shots. After gameplay setting we have control setting. In control setting, if we choose the number 1 rectangle we can edit our gaming buttons or we can set our claw settings. I have made a dedicated video on 5-finger claw and 6-finger claw with its merits and demerits, please go check it. Link is in the description. Number 1 rectangular setting is best for better control. But now let me explain you about the second or number 2 setting. If you apply this setting you will get a moving right fire button, in other words you can fire by double clicking any portion of the screen. Number 3 option is same as number, but here both left and right fire buttons are fixed. Next, in action buttons we have Parker setting. If you choose the combine jump button, then your character will perform parkour or jump like this whenever you double click the jump button. On the separate jump button you will be given a separate button through which you can pass through the hurdles or perform parkour. In separate jump button settings you can't pass through any hurdles or window by pressing jump buttons. On the contrary, you can't jump by pressing the parkour button. Now the final option is slide jump button. If you choose this option you can jump over a hurdles by just sliding or dragging your jumping button anyway. Remember that even if a hurdle or window is behind you, you can't perform the parkour by sliding backwards. In simple words, parkour is only possible whenever the hurdles or windows are in front of you. I am comfortable with combined jump button. You can choose any option according to your comfort. For peek setting, if we choose none option then we will not get any peek button. There is An immense use of peek button nowadays, so we cannot choose the none option. If we choose the tap option, whenever we touch the peek button it will bend towards left or right. It is very useful for 2 and 3 finger claw players. Then if we choose the long press, we have to hold the peek button till we want to lean, otherwise it will return back to its original position. This setting is mostly used for faster reactions, so most of the Chinese players use it. It is also best for 5 and 6 finger claw players. Now the final option is swipe. If you enable the swipe option then you will get a button like the circled portion. If you swipe left this button you will enable left peek, and if you swipe right button you will enable right peek. It is a new feature, so I don't recommend it. Then comes automatically switch to scope mode settings. If you enable it your scope will open whenever you press the peek buttons, but if you disable it your character will peek without opening the scope. If you use peek only for mid-range or long-range fight then enable it, otherwise disable it. Now for roll setting always choose separate buttons because we mostly prefer crouch shoot. And if we choose the combined button then our character will roll unwantedly. Further, if you want to roll rapidly then separate option has more advantage. Next is gyroscope setting, which you all know. If you are not a gyroscope player choose the none option. If you are a gyroscope player then choose the always on option. Then choose separate buttons for scope and shoulder setting. After that comes the shoulder setting. The most important work of shoulder option is to reduce recoil when scope is not open, so keep it in tap or long press or combined according to your comfort. Below shoulder setting we have scope setting. Like peek setting you can keep it in tap or long press or combined according to your comfort. Then for stability of your aim disable first 3 settings of the drag control, because if you enable it, whenever you are firing, if you swipe the camera angle your screen will not show your aiming area. Aim assist is very important as it helps in dragging your aim to enemies if you are firing near them. So always enable it. You can disable it later if you want to practice for more accuracy. Then comes the single or burst auto fire setting. Here if you choose the tap and hold fire button option then you just have to hold the fire button and every single or burst gun will keep on firing like a auto gun. You don't have to use tap fire or multiple tapping of fire button. After that we have auto shoulder firing mode. If you enable it whenever you will fire without opening the scope, the character automatically come into the shoulder mode position. It usually block the left side view, so I keep it disable. For shotgun and sniper firing mode you have to keep tap, but if your preference is release, then you can choose it. In tap option you just have to tap the firing button to fire one shot, but in release option you have to hold the fire button and whenever you want to fire, you have to release your finger from the fire button. Then in download option you will get which map you want to download. You don't need to be a leader now to do that. Allow all the notifications to get better information. In language setting you can follow the following language options to team up with Indian players. In special effect setting the damage effect represents the color of your enemy blood and hit effect represents the colors of your blood, so keep the red color for damage option and green color for hit option for better visual.